Since being in a Pokemon draft format league for I believe is going to be our 9th season, one thing that I've realized that a lot of people may not say they struggle with, but I believe they do, is the very beginning of the season is drafting a team, making a well-rounded team, and there's so many things that can go into making a team, whether it be having enough walls, having certain abilities on your team, making sure you have certain moves like defog, all that. But that may be a little bit more advanced, going with abilities and getting certain walls on your team. I think starting out drafting a team, or even just making a team to build for like online battles and all that, you need to make sure that you cover your weaknesses and that you're not having too many of the same typings on the team. So using this tier list here that we use on our for our Pokemon League, I have developed a small team. It's not the whole entire team that we would draft, but it's a small team that surrounds around a team built for, say, Scizor. I just picked a Pokemon that had a 4 times weakness, which is fire, and I tried to build around it decently. It only took me about 5 minutes, 10 minutes to really just make this team, and it's not that bad. It has a little bit of speed. It's not super fast, but it has some Pokemon that are really fast. It does have hazards, and it does have defogs. No rapid spinners, but it does have defog to get rid of the hazards. And I do have my fire, water, grass core, and I do have my steel, fairy, dragon core, which I believe is necessary for every team. I've been told that fire can kind of be taken off the team, but I've always loved fire. I think that's one of my favorite Pokemon to use as a fire Pokemon. So I love having a fire Pokemon on my team. But other people may just, you don't need a fire. It's just, unless you have Mega Venusaur, fire takes out all grass. So, and I believe bulky grasses are super annoying to go against. You got the Leech Seed, Synthesis, Giga Drain, all that jazz, and they just, can't get past all the recovery. So here we have Scizor. We're not going to look at abilities during this video, but we're going to just look at the typings here. So I'm on Smogon, and this is a great site. I use it all the time. I always make sure that I'm on S and M for Sun and Moon. The reason why I love this site is, one, it shows like all of the stats here, and then if you scroll down, it'll give you example builds. This one says for like Mega Scizor, but if I went to, I believe, UU, it would switch over to just regular Scizor builds, so you can kind of just mess around with that. But again, that's not for this video. What I love most about this site is that if you just hover over one of these two, because it's a dual type Pokemon, it'll show you what it's immune to, strongly resist or resist, what it's weak to, and very weak to. And here you can see it has a crap ton of resistance, and one glaring very weak to. And basically what a lot of people will do when you have a Scizor or Mega Scizor is that they'll have HP fire on almost all of their Pokemon, or some kind of fire move just to take it out. And any kind of fire, it can't take it. So for my second Pokemon that I would have drafted, I guess, is I wanted to get a bulky water type, and I had it all picked out here. For some reason it's not coming up. Here would be Rotom Wash. It's resistant to fire. It's got good defense, which a lot of people like to run physical and special fire, so this would take care of both of those moves. It's not a lot of HP, but it does have great defenses, and it has a great ability in Levitate, so its only weakness is grass. So yeah, great Pokemon. It has great stats, great moves. It's a defogger. It's also a Volt Switcher, so Volt Switch will give you more momentum. If you're slower than like a fast Pokemon, you can take the hit and then you can Volt Switch out. Or if you're faster, you can Volt Switch out into taking a hit. So it's all up to you what you want to do with it. The only problem is that it doesn't have great recovery. It does have leftovers that you typically want to put on it, and Pain Split. I believe you have Pain Split. So it's not the best for like a Pokemon to take a crap ton of hits, but it is a good bulky Pokemon. And to help out with the grass, I believe Scizor resists it. Yeah, strongly resist grass, so I mean, like, those two complement each other very well. And then a fire Pokemon, which I believe is really good to take the fire hits and to deal with the grass, is Arcanine. It's got tremendous bulk, great stats, and it has insane move pool that you can just put so many things on it. You can make it physical, special, all that. So that's the 3 that I have right now. And then I wanted to get some firepower, so I feel like I got enough to protect Scizor in a way. Not too much to write home to mom about. It's a saying I use, but it's got, you know, Arcanine and Rotom Wash to defend it at the moment. So now I move over to a heavy hitter that I want to get, and I believe when I try to make a team, I like to make a tier 1 or a tier 2 and then a mega and build around both of the mega and the tier 2 or 1 that I pick. So here I pick Mega Lopunny, and its weaknesses are Fairy, Psychic, which Scizor resists both of them, so that's good. And I think Arcanine resist Fairy? Yeah, resist Fairy. There you go. For people that didn't know, Fire, resist Fairy. So, right there, I got a few weaknesses that I've already gotten taken care of. And it does resist Rock as well, which is one of Arcanine's weaknesses. So they kind of slightly complement each other. So now we're going to look at Fighting and Flying. I don't think I have a strong Flying weakness. Not sure. But the next Pokemon that I would be picking is a bulky, one of the bulky Nido, the Nidoqueen. It does resist the Fairy and the Fighting, which is really good. But the sad thing is it is weak to Psychic. So if I have Mega Lopunny in, I may not want to switch Nidoqueen in fear of like a Psychic or Psyshock or any kind of Psychic move, because it would just make Nidoqueen pretty much dead from right there. But it's got great bulk. It's a little bit more bulkier than Nidoking, as you can see the stats here. So I would most likely pick Nidoqueen for the defensive points. So right now I got plenty of bulk, and Nidoqueen does offer the Stealth Rock, and if I really wanted to, Toxic Spikes. So there's my hazards that I get on my team. So the next Pokemon that I would be getting with that, because I have plenty of Fairy resistances now, the next Pokemon I would be getting is Hydreigon. Great stats, and it's a great special attacker. I have Scizor and Mega Lopunny for my physical attacking Pokemon. So I feel like I'm pretty good with my physical attackers at this point, and I want a heavy hitter with my special attack, which right here you got 125 for Hydreigon. And it does give me another Levitate ability, so that's another immunity to ground, which is a common move. So I never did mention, but the common moves that you typically see is, I'd have to say, Fire, Fighting, and Ground is the most typical moves that you'll see. And sometimes a U-turn, which is a bug move, you'll see a lot of that. Off the top of my head, I think those are the 3 that I would see. Maybe Dark, because of like Sucker Punch and I don't know, Dark Pulse, stuff like that. Let's see here. So yeah, we have the very weak to Fairy, but we do have Arcanine and Scizor to both eat that up, and Nidoqueen that we just drafted. So we have 3 resistances to Fairy, so Lopunny and Hydreigon shouldn't really have to worry about any Fairy moves. And there is another weakness to Fighting, sadly. So I think the most glaring weakness that we have at this point is a fighting weakness. So the next Pokemon that I would be getting, not the most bulky with defense, but would be Sylveon to finish out my Steel, Fairy, and Dragon Core. And it does resist fighting, so I guess it's alright, but again, its defense is pretty crap. So I wouldn't want to switch in Sylveon on too many I don't know, close combat, superpowers, Mach Punches, and all that. I wouldn't want to switch it in too many times, but it can take a hit if I really wanted to. And I could put all of my EVs and boost it up and make it bold or something on my defense to boost it up, and then make it like max HP so that it can take special attacks and special physical attacks. So Sylveon is a great Pokemon here, and my last Pokemon that I just, it's not a full team, but it's a Pokemon that I finished out with my Fire, Water, Grass Core is Decidueye. Again, it does give me an immunity to fighting and normal, so people can't fake me out. And it does give me resistance to electric and grass, so this is a great complement to Rotom Wash. But I probably wouldn't be bringing in Decidueye too often because it does have the same weakness of Scizor. And I don't want too many Pokemon that are weak to the same thing, because then my opponents would only have to, I don't know, right now you'd have to worry about fighting, fairy, and fire. And I believe flying are the huge ones on my team. But again, I only made this on the fly. It's only about a few minutes that I actually made this team, and it's not the greatest team. It's just a little bit of a way to show you guys how to kind of make a team. I typically want to make sure that my Pokemon help each other when it comes to their weaknesses, because I don't want 4 fire weaknesses on the same team and bring it in against say Dalton, who has, I don't know, Darmanitan. Darmanitan's just going to wreck me. He's going to have a easy time just getting in Darmanitan. He's going to just U-turn, get a good matchup in, and then take out the other 2 Pokemon that probably are helping me with my fire, but once he takes them out, I have nothing for the Darmanitan. So when you're building a team, when you're drafting a team, anything like that, you got to make sure that your weaknesses are kind of covered by other Pokemon and that they complement each other, and you're not making a too counterproductive team, and that you try to get a lot of the different typings on your team. So it's okay to have like maybe 2 darks on the team, but if you end up with like 3 or 4 darks on your team, it's very counterproductive because they all eventually share the same weakness, and it's easy to prep for that when it comes to battling against you. And again, this is just a kind of beginner's guide to how do you want to draft a team, how you want to make a team, and I'm not an expert at this. I do okay, I feel like, when it comes to our league and battling. So I just feel like I wanted to just help you guys that actually need helping with this. I know I've tried to explain it to you guys a little bit, but at least, seeing the stuff on the screen and maybe going to Smogon yourself, like if a way to like actually look up Pokemon is you click on grass right here, and it'll go to the actual grass typing, and you can see all the grass Pokemon that there is in Pokemon. And you want to make sure you can you don't want to pick any Ubers. I was just building a team from OU and down, and right here will tell you the stats and then the abilities and all that. This way it really helps you see the new Pokemon that's out there. You may not understand like who the heck Decidueye is. Well, if you go to Smogon, you type in grass, you'll find Decidueye right here, or any of these Pokemon, and yeah, you'll be able to learn and pick up new Pokemon that you didn't know about, or one that's kind of the sneaky Pokemon. Like a few seasons ago, found out about this gym that I had in Tier 5. Great Pokemon, has a Sap Zipper, I believe is what it's called. So little things like that, if you just venture on to Smogon, look up stuff like typings, and then you'll find Pokemon that you'll want to use. And I hope this was very helpful for you guys, and if it is, I can make probably an advanced way of building a team, I guess. But I think this should be helpful for you guys enough that you should be able to make a decent team. And then by playing more and then learning like what Pokemon are good, and then who you should actually draft going forward would be. So again, hopefully this helped you guys, and if so, just let me know. Thanks for watching.